Welcome back to the Unlockable podcast. It's time for a 3-year anniversary episode extravaganza, which roughly translates to we're giving away a copy of either Pokemon Scarlet or Violet, your choice. And it's super easy to enter this giveaway. There's just 2 simple steps, so listen closely. Step 1, wherever you're listening to this, scroll down and give us a rating or a thumbs up. So if you're on Apple Podcasts, just click the stars that you think the podcast deserves. And if you're on YouTube, give this video a thumbs up. The same goes for Google or Spotify or wherever you're listening to this. Okay, got it? Step 2, message either Hannah or myself on social media with a screenshot proving to us that you left us that rating. And that's it. 2 simple steps and you are in. You can find links to our social media in the description of this podcast, but I'm at Bird Dog Gaming everywhere, and Hannah is at GameGirlAdvanceSP on Instagram. If you've already given us a rating in the past, then go ahead and screenshot it and send us a DM with that rating. If you're in the US, we can hook you up with a physical or digital copy of the game if you win. And for any of our contestants that are outside of the US, we're going to have to just give you a digital copy of the game, which you can redeem from the Nintendo Switch eShop. The last day to enter will be the 28th of November 2022, and the winner will be chosen pretty quickly after that, maybe the 29th or 30th, and we'll use one of those spinny wheel websites to decide. It'll be completely random, and it will likely be done during one of my live streams here on YouTube, but more details on that to come. What you need to know now is, if you win, I will contact you directly via the social media that you entered on, and you'll have 48 hours to respond to claim your winnings. Alright, let's get this episode started now. Today we are talking about the Virtual Console and what's come of it since the good old eShop channel days. It's a great episode, you're sure to learn a few things, and yeah, let's go. Welcome back to the Unlockable podcast. I'm Christian, and joining me as always is the amazing Game Girl Advance SP herself.
That's me.
Hannah, I hate to be cliche, but how about this freaking weather?
Oh my god, dude. It is so nice. Tonight in particular is like the first night it's actually gotten super hecka cold, and I'm so excited. Go Florida.
I'm sure you guys are wondering how we can talk about the weather being in 2 different states, but we kind of talked about it before the episode started.
Well, and they're surprisingly similar, too. So it's like, oh, it's cold there? Oh, it's probably going to be cold here, too.
Absolutely loving it. I went grocery shopping yesterday, and, November 12th. I went grocery shopping yesterday, and they, the weather really came in yesterday. It was freezing. And the freaking Christmas music was playing. It was November 12th. I was like, no freaking way. Like, I am living for this right now.
Agreed.
Loving it.
Got to get in the spirit.
Yeah, I'm definitely not saying it in a negative connotation. I'm here for the early Christmas atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. Heck yeah.
So yeah, it's finally winter in Texas and also in Florida. Loving that. But in other news, we are a few days away from our 3-year Unlockable podcast anniversary.
Woo! That's so exciting. I can't believe we started this 3 years ago.
November 19th, 2019, our very first episode talking about how to start a video game collection, and it was like 40 minutes long.
We've come such a long way since then. I felt like a baby, a little child fetus trying to run a podcast. I'm much more into it now. Into the groove, as you would say.
We can't get an episode out that's under 2 hours now, but you know what? Nobody's complaining. So until y'all do, they're just going to be that same long length. So we're doing a giveaway. You heard about it in the intro, but please go ahead and give us a rating. You guys totally deserve to win a copy of Pokemon from us. You guys totally deserve this opportunity, I guess is what I'm trying to say. We really appreciate you guys, and this is our way of giving back, our second giveaway of 2022.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Kirby seems like it was a very long time ago, but it was 6 or 7 months ago.
Wow. Look at us go.
Also doesn't feel like I played Kirby and the Forgotten Land this year. It feels like it was a long time ago.
I know. Why does it feel so long ago? Are you sure this is here?
Yeah.
Man. How time flies.
Okay. Hannah, what have you been buying lately in terms of video games?
Absolutely nothing except for the new Splatoon 3 amiibo that just came out. They got here on Friday. So that was very nice. I am very much waiting for all of the sales and the Black Friday deals and stuff that are rolling around the corner. I get like
Yeah,
FOMO and I'm like, I don't want to spend, a full $60 or whatever on this game. I'm going to wait until it goes on sale. So I'm very much in that mood right now. I'm looking at all the weekly ads, all of the advertisements, just to get the best deals.
I'm definitely looking forward to spending some money coming up here shortly, just on random crap I don't need for sure. Um, I saw something on Mario 64 the other day. It was like $4.99, like $3.99 for a Switch game, and I was so ready to send it to you, and it was gone like within minutes.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. I looked at it and again, it was gone. It was like I think it was download code in a box game though.
It was for sure. I would have bought it.
Oh yeah, me too. I tried, but it was gone.
All right, that's it then for been buying.
That's it. I'm dry. Nothing.
It has only been about 2 weeks since we recorded, so I have not bought a lot myself. I got Men in Black 2 on the GameCube, going for that set. I got Rayman 2 on the PC. It was a UK version, and it says limited edition on the front. It's probably the lamest thing I've ever seen. I don't know why it says limited edition. It also says €1, so it was literally €1 for this game, and yeah, there's nothing special about it. It is a disc in a DVD case with no manual, no nothing.
€1.
Limited
Wow.
edition.
Wow.
But on a cooler note, I got Donkey Kong Country on the Game Boy Color complete in box. I have 3 versions of Donkey Kong Country now.
Wow. Which one's your favorite?
Hannah, I haven't played the second or the third version. I've only played that Super Nintendo version. Been playing. What have you been playing lately?
Ugh. I'm so excited to finally announce I can collect my nerd badge because I got my first 99 maxed skill in RuneScape, and I'm so goddamn excited about it. It's like such an accomplishment. I've been playing this game, by the way, since I was like 7 years old, and I finally just now got a 99 on this account. I mean, I have several accounts, but on this one. So excited.
Woo!
I mean, it took a lot of time, a lot of clicking, but I did it. That's literally all that I've been doing because I wanted to get it. It was like an accidental goal. I was just doing this. I was leveling up the skill just so I could get money. And then I was like, wow, I'm really close to 99. I might as well go all the way. And I did. And I'm so excited.
Well, I hope that it was fulfilling, and congratulations, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's it?
That's it. That's taken all my time.
Where are you at on Xenoblade?
Oh, I finished that a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
I put in 100 hours. It was great. It kind of wrapped up. I think I talked about it. Maybe I didn't.
You definitely talked about it. I just forgot.
But it wrapped up the series 1, 2, 3 in kind of a nice little bow, but also left enough for them to expand the story a little bit. So I'm excited to see where it goes. But I loved it. It was great. It's, for me, the ranking goes 2, 3, and then 1. 1's still my least favorite. And 2 is just so goddamn good. It's just one of my favorite games of all time. So good.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really in the mood for an RPG. I think I'm going to pop in Scarlet Nexus and play it again, except it's kind of like how you've described Ys Origin to me, where there's 2 different characters with different plot lines or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think I might play Scarlet Nexus and play the other half of the game this time.
That's fun. How many hours did you put in that one?
I think that's about a 30-hour game.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I wish that came to the Switch, but it's an Xbox exclusive? Or no? Am I wrong?
It's on PlayStation and PC as well.
Well, never mind. It might come to the Switch maybe then.
It definitely could.
That'd be awesome.
I've also been playing, again, it's only been 2 weeks, but Call of Duty came out, so that's pretty much taken over my life. My roommate and I spending way too many hours playing Call of Duty. I have completed. All right, I'm like 99% done with 2 Point Campus. All right, I cannot praise this game enough. I love it so much. But I'm gonna 100% this game, and there's just like 3 or 4 achievements that I have left to like 100% it. But like as far as beating the game goes, I have beaten it. So, yeah, go play 2 Point Campus.
Very nice.
I'm replaying Super Mario 3D World. My girlfriend and I are enjoying it because it's the best Mario game ever.
Debatable.
And did I talk about getting a Switch at work in the last episode?
I think. Well, I know you told me about it.
I got a freaking Nintendo Switch at the office. No work is ever gonna get done now, but yeah, pretty freaking cool. We've been playing some Mario Strikers. We got 7 games right off the bat. It's freaking like 2 Pro controllers, 4 Joy-Cons. It's excellent. I love it here.
Wow. I'm so jealous. Not really, because I have my own, but...
Yeah, it's all the party games, the Mario Kart, Smash, Overcooked, and Moving Out.
Oh, excellent games. I told you they're making a Moving Out too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm so excited for that.
Heck yeah. We got the other Mario Party. You know, I've played Super Mario Party, but I haven't played the one that's like a remix of the N64 games.
Yeah, what's that one called again? Mario Party Superstars?
I think that's what it is.
Superstars? Okay.
So yeah.
Nintendo's really confusing in their naming.
Super Mario Party, Mario Party Superstars, yeah. And they can't even sit next to each other on the shelf. Oh, it's a nightmare.
Oh, because, yeah, if you're an alphabetical person. Oh, that's a nightmare.
That's all I got for been playing. Let's talk about some news, Hannah. Do you have anything?
I do. So, Nintendo has officially sold 77 million amiibo. Can you freaking believe that?
Oh, dang.
Yeah. Do you know how many's sitting in my room? Like half of that. No. Just kidding. I almost have a full collection. Heck yeah. That's kind of surprising. I feel like it should be more, but I mean, 77 million is still a lot.
That's certainly a big number.
And they're still making more. God bless. Next thing, I don't know if you're following the whole Twitter disaster, but a fake Nintendo account tweeted a picture of Mario flipping a bird. Did you see that?
I did see that.
Impersonation account? What a disaster. Why attack Nintendo like that? I mean, come on. Next is the Game Awards 2022 nominees are coming out on Monday, November 14th. So literally tomorrow. Very excited.
Oh, nice.
So apparently there are 50 new game announcements and teases that are going to be there, which is exciting. I don't know if you remember, but way back when, Zelda DLC was teased there as well. Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC. So kind of hoping we'll see something from Tears of the Kingdom. Oh my god, I almost forgot the sequel name. Tears of the Kingdom, which was Breath of the Wild 2. And it's streaming on December 8th. So in a month from now. Do you watch every year or no?
I do. I'm going to actually make a whole event out of it this year. I have like too much PTO that I never use. So I'm going to Dallas to hang out with some friends and just like make a whole night out of it. It's going to be nice.
Ah, that's fun. I thought maybe you'd be streaming it or something.
I don't even know how to do that. I guess I would like share my screen while being live. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't ask me. I'm not a streamer. Next thing, did you hear that Ash Ketchum is now the top Pokemon trainer at all of the lands?
A salute to Mr. Ketchum himself, yes.
After 25 years. So, just to be specific, he won the Masters 8 tournament of the Pokemon World Coordination Series in the latest episode of Pokemon Ultimate Journeys, the series, which aired in Japan. It'll come rest of the world at some point later. I don't know when. But wow, look at him go. Finally, he made it. He caught them all, and he killed? I don't want to say killed. He beat everyone else. He killed the other ones.
Very cool.
And then finally, Mario Party 1 and 2, speaking of Mario Party, are now on Nintendo Switch Online. So go play those.
I have never played them.
Oh, you've never played them? Oh, they're the greatest. So me and my friends in high school, my other friend also had Mario Party and Nintendo 64 at her house. We used to always go over to her house and play the first, second, and the third on Nintendo 64 all the frickin' time. And it was so gosh darn fun.
So what are they doing about the... Like, you know, every YouTuber likes to talk about the freaking destroying the analog stick and ruining your hand, like, fiasco with the first two games. What are they doing about that?
I don't know. I mean, probably destroying the Joy-Con. I mean, we know how fragile those are. I wonder if they fixed it. I assume they haven't. But, I mean, yeah, so Nintendo 64 were just, like, plastic on plastic. Whereas the Joy-Cons is like rubber, plastic, and blah, 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 all these intricate things. So I assume they didn't. But
I'll have to ask someone.
That's a good question.
Well, you have the expansion pack. I can ask you, Hannah.
I do, but I have not played these. They just came out not that long ago. The only games that I've played on expansion pack is Puzzle League. And I just cannot recommend that game enough. It's so good. But yeah, that's all I got for the news.
My side of the news, I got Control 2 is officially in development. There have been rumors about a sequel coming for a while now. And yeah, I just Googled video game news and I saw Control 2 officially in development. And I'm excited for that. Definitely one of the best games from 2019. I think it was 2019. Yeah, freaking love that game.
That's the one where it's like the red cover with the girl in the front, right?
Yeah, I think it has a cloud gaming Switch release.
It does, I do believe.
Kevin Conroy has passed away at the age of 66. Not entirely video game news because he was the Batman voice actor for the animated series, but he was also the Batman from Arkham, the Arkham games. So.
Oh, really?
Rest in peace, Mr. Conroy.
Man, R.I.P.
And the last thing I had was, on a lighter note, shipping error has some people receiving special editions of God of War Ragnarok without the game.
Oh, how devastating.
Yeah, those are definitely the biggest fans for sure, and to not receive the game day one is certainly a pain.
Oof, someone's getting fired.
That's all I got for news.
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet. I mean, it's only been 2 weeks, so... Yeah, so maybe not.
Hannah, what are we talking about today?
Well, we're talking about all of Nintendo's online stores and shops throughout the years.
Woo!
It's very exciting. I did not realize how far back they went. I'm just really stupid, but I guess we'll talk about it when we get to the actual category. But yeah, all of the online and digital storefronts.
Yeah, so kind of like an emphasis on the virtual console, but yeah, we're going to be talking about all the eShops, all the crap that they have sold us throughout the years. Yeah, can you please define for the audience and for me, what is virtual console?
Sure. So when people refer to virtual console, obviously they're referring to like the digital storefront that you can go to and like get all these Nintendo games that came out previously. So they're obviously digital. They're not going to send you a physical copy in the mail, although that would be sweet if you purchase a virtual console game, obviously virtual. They're emulated, so all these are past releases that can run on the native hardware. But they're not using like all the intricate systems like you would if you plug in a disc. And this, I came up with this term, and I love it. It's their answer. It's like quasi backwards compatibility, right? You don't need to put in a gajillion ports into the Wii or the Wii U. You know, it just runs. It's emulated, so it's kind of backwards compatibility. Hence the quasi.
Putting a trademark on that.
Heck yeah.
No, that's perfect. I have had, well, I don't want to go too into it, but I've been a big fan of the virtual console since the Wii, and yeah, I don't know. Just a fun little episode, something that we can all enjoy here. Um, Definitely something that is lacking on other platforms. I mean, I can go and purchase some Xbox games on the Xbox store. Your options are really limited. It doesn't really feel like a virtual console, and there's just the fact that it's like Xbox doesn't feel retro to me. I mean, you can buy some PS1 games on the PS4, I'm pretty sure, but it doesn't feel super retro to me. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense. The virtual console just feels like it should be games from the 80s and 90s, and I guess the
Yeah.
PS1 is from the 90s, but I don't
Well,
know.
Nintendo really has an appreciation for their old stuff, and they realize that it's some of the best stuff video games ever created. So they put a really heavy emphasis on their old stuff. Also, because they can sell it to us a bunch of times, and they know we'll buy it.
Yeah,
But they definitely respect where they've come from.
as they should.
Definitely.
But yeah, with that being said, we are going to kick off this episode with the Wii Virtual Console. We're going to be covering the WiiWare and DSiWare. We're going to be covering the 3DS and Wii U's eShops, and we're also going to be talking about Nintendo Switch Online and all of the stuff that they have available. But let's start with the Wii Virtual Console. This is the most infamous virtual console. When I think of virtual console, this is what I think about every time. The freaking Wii Shop channel music should be in your mind at this point just by hearing me say Wii Virtual Console. If you've never played on a Wii, the fourth icon on like the default Wii home screen, the fourth icon was the Wii Shop channel. It was literally built into your Wii. You didn't have to download anything. It's just there. And you could purchase some pretty amazing games. I'm going to let Hannah cover that. But basically, yeah, it was right there in your face. And the music would draw you in. And you would not be able to leave for many hours.
So the next section, which I will cover here, is the user interface, how the user actually interacted with it. So once you clicked on that fourth icon, which you say from the right, the fourth icon on the Wii U, or the Wii menu. Also, by the way, when I think of Virtual Console, I think of the Wii U, because I'm stupid and I did not realize that the Wii could go online until I was like 20, which is not that long ago. I had no idea that the Wii could go online. I had no idea that the Wii had Netflix, by the way.
Did you play did you play Mario Kart Wii online? I mean, you didn't play any games online?
No, I hated Mario Kart on the Wii, and every time I played it, I would play it on someone else's Wii.
Gotcha.
I was a very casual gamer back at this point, so I played like my Wii Sports and all those stupid like shovelware games that no one really cares about anymore that are like 50 cents at the Goodwill. I played those ones, okay? None of those offered any online. Okay,
Fair enough.
Anyway, so once you go on the Wii Shop channel, there are 3 main pages to visit. There's the Virtual Console, the WiiWare, which we'll get to, and then the Wii channels, which I was talking about, which is like the streaming services like Netflix and Hulu. So specifically on the Virtual Console page, there were buttons for popular titles, newest editions. You could search by category, and you could search by game title. All of those are just kind of filters so you can go through and see what's there. So then once you did any of those kind of sorting filter things, a list would pop up with each title having its own little white box. You know what I'm talking about. White and blue with like the blue background. And in said box, there would contain obviously the title of the game. There'd be a little picture to the left of like the game cover, whatever, who developed it, the console it was for originally, and then obviously it's on the Wii, and the points needed to buy it. So in this point in Nintendo's online integration, they use points instead of the dollars, the monies, which is very confusing. So 1 point equated to 1 cent in the US. So 20 Wii points 20 US dollars was about 2,000 points.
Correct.
So just think, point is a cent. I don't know why they did that. I didn't get a reason when I was looking it up. So just because they were scared of, I don't know, putting denominations on there? Or was it just easier? I don't know.
It's such a Nintendo problem to have.
I'm sure somebody knows. We got better at that though. Later down in the doc, we'll see. So the cool thing about this though was imported games cost more than localized games, and they were differentiated by like a little Japanese flag in the top right corner. But I did not realize that there were other like imported games. I thought it was all just going to be like Super Nintendo, and stuff like that. I didn't realize that there were certain imported games from like the Famicom, the Super Famicom. I think that's super interesting. I had no idea.
Yeah, it was awesome for sure.
So they offered NES games, which were 500 Wii points, which is like $5. The imports of the NES games were 600 points. NES games were 800 Wii points. 900 and 1,000 Wii points for select Japanese games. N64 games were 1,000 points, or 1,200 points for the imports. Sega Genesis games, 800 Wii points. Or it says 600 Wii points in Japan. Can you... So it was cheaper to get Genesis games if they were imports, which... I don't know. There were TurboGrafx games, which blew my mind. I had no idea that TurboGrafx was a thing. That I had absolutely no idea. So I had TurboGrafx 16 and CD games, which were 600, 800 points, or 700, 900 points for imports. Neo Geo games, again, didn't know that one. Those were 900 Wii points, or 1,000 Wii points for imports. And there were also Virtual Console arcade games, which were 800 Wii points. That blew my freaking mind. I thought that having Genesis games on Nintendo Switch Online was like the coolest thing ever, until I realized that they've already done that and much more.
I think that it was just such a... I think Nintendo was probably like, hey guys, like Sega, NEC, Hudson, like all these companies, Konami, freaking like, hey, we have this idea. We're going to put all of our old games that are currently just sitting around collecting dust, like no one is like paying for them. They're all just being stolen online. Put your games on this service, earn $5 a pop, $10 a pop, whatever, and yeah, like let's get some money out of these games that, we spent hundreds of hours developing, and let's bring some new life to these games. I mean, I don't know why anyone would turn that down, and I think a lot of these publishers were like super down for that. So you saw things like TurboGrafx and Neo Geo. Like it's totally crazy the diversity that was on this Virtual Console.
Agreed. I had absolutely no idea. I feel so dumb. I could have had so many cool games. What an idiot. I just didn't know. So other than that, the pages were, they're very simple to navigate, right? Wii was made for like children, so of course they could navigate it. There was like 10 games displayed per page. Then you'd, use the scroll button to go down. Then you hit the right or the left to change page. And also, you already said it, but the music was just iconic. Which is sad because I didn't realize where that music came from. Now I do. So basically the next section I have, and for all of the consoles I have here, is I'm going to break down the consoles that were offered, which I kind of already said, but also, just some notable games that I thought were really interesting, ones that stood out to me, and then the dates that like the console and the systems on the games were like supported or offered. So first up, we had a total of 427 games total on the Wii Virtual Console in North America. That's freaking crazy. You know how many I got? Crazy. 0. I got 0. So we're going to do a breakdown here. We got 94 titles from the NES. These titles were added in batches from November 19th of 2006 to December 6th of 2012, which seems not that long ago, but that was 10 years ago. I'm like, it was like yesterday. So the first batch included Donkey Kong, Mario Bros., Pinball, Soccer, Solomon's Key, and The Legend of Zelda, the original one, and Wario Woods.
Those are the first games to be added?
Those were for the NES. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just for the NES. The very last one, do you want to guess? This will be fun. This is like a guessing section. Do you want to guess what the last release was?
I think I saw it doing my research, and I don't think it's a game that anyone could guess. Isn't it something weird? It's a Neo Geo game, right?
Oh, I don't know. It's Burger Time.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So other notable titles would be Ice Climber, Kid Icarus, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, which was delisted on January 26th of 2012 for whatever reason. Castlevania 1 through 3, Adventures of Lolo. Ghosts and Goblins, Yoshi's Cookie, which was delisted on October 18th of 2013. And then this one was interesting. Princess Tomato and the Salad Kingdom. Have you ever heard of that?
I think that's like a really expensive NES game.
Oh, really?
Is it NES?
Oh, well, yeah, it's NES.
I think it's expensive. I've definitely heard of it.
I've never heard of that in my entire life. Anyway, A Boy and His Blob, Mega Man 1 through 5, and Gradius?
Yes, Gradius? To both of those.
Okay. Oh, it's like tomato thing?
I mean, I'm sure there's a right way, but I don't think anyone knows.
Okay, moving on. We have 74 titles from the SNES. First batch, again, was released on November 19th of 2006. Last game being added on September 6th of 2012. The first batch was F-Zero and Sim City, which was later delisted on January 2nd of 2013. And the last release was The Prince of Persia. Other notable games would be Mega Man X and Mega Man X2, Harvest Moon, Chrono Trigger, Super Mario RPG, Ogre Battle, The March of the Black Queen, Super Turrican 1 and 2, with the latter being delisted on October 7th of 2013, Donkey Kong Country 1, Donkey Kong Country 2, and Donkey Kong Country 3, which were, for whatever reason, delisted from November 16th, 2012 to February 26th of 2015, so Nintendo ripped them off for a couple months and then put them back. No idea why. Oh, maybe it was a rare licensing thing. Do you think so?
It could be. I mean, you really have no idea. I'm also realizing that 2012 is also a Wii U era, which is interesting. I wonder if there was something going on. They're having to, maybe they're having to get these licenses again to put them on the Wii U eShop. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that. Huh, okay, that could totally be. Then next we have 21 titles from N64. This is a common theme, by the way. All these other systems get 50, 60, 70, 80 games. Nintendo 64 always gets 15 or 20. There are so many great games on Nintendo 64. I just don't understand. I think the problem is they don't run very well on emulations or whatever. Nintendo hasn't quite figured out, at this point, hadn't quite figured out how to make them run. I don't know. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'm just making stuff up. But anyway, they were added again from November 19th of 2006 to March 7th of 2011. First game added was, can you guess? It's a classic.
Mario 64.
Yeah, you got it. And the last one was Bomberman Hero.
Nice.
Other notable titles, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, Cruisin' USA, heck yeah, Paper Mario, Ogre Battle 64, and Sin and Punishment, which was, I believe, a Japanese exclusive game, yeah?
It was, yeah.
Yep, so that was cool. Then, next, 63 games from the TurboGrafx 16 and TurboGrafx CD, games added from November 21st of 2006 to March 15th of 2010. First game added was Bomberman 93. And can you guess the last one? This is right up your alley.
Bomberman 94.
No, that one was on it, but no, the last game added. It's your favorite series.
TurboGrafx has my favorite series. Is it Bonk's Adventure?
No. Starts with a C.
Castlevania, Rondo of Blood.
Yeah, there it is. See, I knew this would be fun. Other notable titles, R-Type, Vigilante, Ninja Spirit, and The Legend of Hiratanma.
I have heard of that one. I mean, I heard all of those, but yeah.
I've never heard of any of these, so I don't know if they're good games or not. All of these games are either Hudson Soft or IREM games, IREM published games, or just IREM developed and published games. But they were not available from March 30th of 2012 to September 19th of 2013. So, again, ripped them off for whatever reason. There was also Bloody Wolf, Silent Debuggers, Drop Off, Sim Earth, The Living Planet, Yee's Book 1 and 2, which, oh, man, that would be so swell if they came over to the Switch, and Splatterhouse.
Very nice.
Next, 16 games from the Sega Master System. First games added on March 31st of 2008. Last on February 1st of 2010. The first game was Wonder Boy, and the last game was Alex Kidd in Shinobi World. I've heard of both of those. Other notable titles would be all your Sonics. You got your Sonic the Hedgehog. You got Sonic Chaos. There's also Wonder Boy and Monster World and Wonder Boy 3, The Dragon's Trap. Also, Alex Kidd in Miracle World and Alex Kidd, The Lost Stars.
I like how you said that.
Next... Oh, The Lost Stars. Next we have Sega Genesis games. There were 75 titles from the Genesis. First added on November 19th, 2006. You guessed it. And ending on May 10th of 2012. First game was Altered Beast. And the last was Monster World 4. Never heard of that. Other notable titles: Echo the Dolphin, Restar, Toe Jam and Earl, Streets of Rage, Gunstar Heroes, Musha, Super Fantasy Zone, and Earthworm Jim. Very interesting. And next we have 54 titles from the Neo Geo. First games released were on October 8th of 2007, and last games added were June 6th, 2013.
That is so late.
I know. That's interesting. First batch of games were Art of Fighting, Fatal Fury, King of Fighters, and World Heroes. Last game was Sengoku 3. Other notable titles, I have no idea if these are good games or not. Magician Lord, Neo Turf Masters, Ironclad, Metal Slug 1 through 4, Sengoku 1 and 2 were also released, Samurai Showdown 1 through 3, and The Last Blade 1 and 2. Okay, next we have 9 titles from the Commodore 64. Again, who would have thought? Not me.
Yeah,
games released
crazy.
from February 23rd of 2009 to November 9th of 2009. So, not that many. First title was International Karate, and the last was Cybernoid the Fighting Machine. Other titles, which is basically the rest of the titles, is Pit Stop 2, The Last Ninja, Summer Games 2, Tower Toppler, Boulder Dash, California Games, and The Last Ninja 2, Back with a Vengeance.
Nice.
Then, finally, to end up this section is the 21 arcade titles, first being added on March 25th of 2009 to December 6th of 2012. First batch of games was Gaplus? Maybe? Gaplus? Gaplus? I don't know. Mappy, and the Tower of Druaga? Maybe?
That was the first batch, huh? Not Galaga or Pac-Man?
No, that was the first batch. The last game was Wonder Boy and Monsterland. Other titles include Star Force, everyone's favorite Tecmo Bowl. You got Golden Axe, Solomon's Key, Shinobi, Zaxxon, Sun, X's, Wolf of the Battlefield Commando, 1942, Black Tiger, and Super Hang-On. Not just Hang On, but Super Hang-On. And, yeah, that ends all the fun games and stuff from Virtual Console.
Yeah.
Dude, that blows my freaking mind, dude. Where was I?
Yeah. Honestly, I had a very... I mean, I know you didn't sell your consoles. I also have kept my consoles since I was a kid, and I've always, like, gone back to play Super Mario World or Street Fighter on the Super Nintendo. Just, like, maybe every year or every other year, I would just get, like, this nostalgic feeling for it. And I was only... What is this? 2006, the Wii came out. I was 10 years old, and I'm playing these games. And I loved the Virtual Console. It was a big part of my childhood for sure, but I'll go into more of that later. Let's get into some region-locked games. As Hannah mentioned, there was a ton of region-locked games. It was a great place for it. They were shown with the Japanese flag. I don't remember if there was like a UK flag or whatever for any PAL games, but yeah, looking at a list of the games available, there were so many that had never been released outside of Japan previously, so I'm not going to talk about them all here. I'm going to talk about some noteworthy ones. But on the PC Engine, you mentioned Rondo of Blood. This was the first time this game had ever been released officially outside of Japan. Same thing with Bomberman 94. Yeah,
cool.
super freaking cool. Like, it's so... I feel like the Virtual Console is really important for history. Like, this is such a good service. On the Genesis, Japan had never seen Earthworm Jim 1 and 2 before the Virtual Console.
I didn't know that either.
Musha, notoriously the most expensive Genesis game. This was the first time it had ever been released in European and, PAL territories, so that was cool.
Cool.
Monster World 4, I think you mentioned that one. This was the first time this game released outside of Japan as well, and unlike most Virtual Console games, it was translated fully to English. So, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote Puyo Puyo 2 down because I know you are a Puyo Puyo fan.
I love Puyo Puyo. I actually recently played Puyo Puyo 2. You know those fighter like stick things that like tabletop ones? It's got like all the buttons. Well, I don't know if someone hacked it or if it's somebody that released it, but I was at like one of those escape room places and they had a bunch of TVs with those hooked up, and I played like all the Puyo games. And I'm also really bad at Puyo Puyo 2. I can kill at Puyo Puyo Tetris, but Puyo Puyo regular, I'm just not good at.
Very cool. On the NES, the first time Star Tropics was ever released, Star Tropics 2 was ever released in PAL territories. This was, that was the only one I wrote down for NES. There's a bunch, listen to this list of games that Europe never had until the Wii Virtual Console on the Super Nintendo, okay? We have Super Mario RPG. We have Ogre Battle, which I know that's like a good game apparently. I've never played it. Kirby's Dream Land 3. Gradius 3. Final Fantasy 4 and 6. And freaking Chrono Trigger. What in the world is going on in Europe?
Dang. Wow. Europe has come such a long way. They get like all the releases.
That is... I mean, the 90s, man, they missed out on a lot of crap over there. It's crazy.
Oof. So sorry.
Ogre Battle 64, first time this released in PAL territories. And then Sin and Punishment, you mentioned. This was the first time it had ever been released outside of Japan. Yeah, very important stuff here. The Virtual Console was so good. But yeah, going into my experiences, I freaking loved the Virtual Console, if you couldn't tell. First, this was like my first time ever playing NES games. I just remember asking my parents for a $10 Wii Shop card, or if they could just give me $10 for a couple of games. So, this is something you didn't mention earlier. I'm sure you didn't find this in your research, but the Wii Shop channel required you to purchase in $10 increments. So you couldn't buy 500 points. You had to buy a minimum of 1,000. And you like, if you wanted one NES game, well, you're still left with another 500 points. Like, that was just the way it was. And it was so dumb.
Huh. Well, the Wii U did something very similar.
Really?
You could only purchase in those kind of denominations. Yeah. Because when I wanted to buy, I can't remember what I bought with it, but I'm pretty sure I still have money on there because it was such a weird amount.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I have like 12 points left over. Sweet.
Yeah, really childish. I remember asking, as not like, I was a pretty good kid. I wasn't sitting around asking for $10 every 5 minutes, but the Wii was such a huge part of my childhood, and I did end up getting quite a few games, and I actually turned on my Wii to get a quick list here. But yeah, I always had such an interest in old Nintendo games, and I guess this YouTube channel and this podcast and everything was just like destined from 15 years ago. Like, I have just always been into this crap. But yeah, here's my quick little list here. Games that I purchased on the Wii Virtual Console. Super Mario Brothers 2 and 3. I had never played them in my life until I got the Wii Virtual Console. Elevator Action, not a fan of that game. Ice Climber, Galaga, Secret of Mana. I bolded this one because, this was like I'm pretty sure it was like 2013 or something. It was way later, after I had been done with the Wii. And my best friend and I definitely were like so excited to try this game once we found out it was a co-op game on the Super Nintendo, our favorite console. So yeah, we played through that with our GameCube controllers, and obviously you guys know I'm a big Mana fan now. Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition was the only TurboGrafx game I got. That was pretty cool because like I grew up with Street Fighter 2, but you could play as all the boss characters in this version, which I just thought was like super awesome. Streets of Rage 2, the only Genesis title I bought. Freaking love that game. It was my introduction to the franchise. One of the first Genesis games I've ever played. Yeah, aside from the Sonic titles. I also had Metroid, Pinball, Bubble Bobble, Wrecking Crew, and The Adventures of Lolo, all on the NES. I freaking love the Virtual Console.
I'm so jealous. I was off doing real people things.
I eventually had to get an SD card and like expand my storage to the SD card channel. I don't know if you remember that on the Wii.
Absolutely not. Dude, I'm telling you, I clicked the first box and that was it.
I freaking, man, when I say it was a big part of my childhood, I used the freaking We Speak channel. Like, no one used the We Speak channel. No one bought a We Speak to play Animal Crossing with their friends, but I did, man. I love the stupid Wii so much.
Wow.
I'm gonna start tearing up over here.
Because I didn't have these experiences, the Wii is like one of my least favorite consoles. Just because I just didn't use it as much. I had one, but like I said, I played Wii Sports Boxing, and that was it.
And a little bit of Skyward Sword.
No, I didn't play Skyward Sword until I got it when I was like, I must have been 16 or 17. And I played it on the Wii U. I didn't even play it on the Wii.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I kind of skipped that whole, from like the PS2 until like the Wii U. I was just, off doing cheerleading and all these other kind of sports and stuff. So I wasn't really gaming. Man, I missed out on so much. Dang it.
Many people would argue that you were doing better things with your life.
Well, not me. I would argue. I mean, I'm not a cheerleader now. What am I? I'm a gamer who just sits here and does pointless things. This is where I was always meant to be.
I have one super fun fact here. So, Star Tropics, NES game, it's notorious for having like an insert in the box. You had to literally dip it in water to reveal a secret code to progress in the game. Okay?
Dude,
super
cool.
cool thing from the 80s. And in the Wii Virtual Console, you're like, well, what are they going to do about that? Inside the e-manual for the game, there's an animation of the manual being dipped in water before revealing that code. How freaking neat is that?
Dang, that's so cool.
Yeah, I love it.
Wow, what attention to detail, though. How cool.
I looked into it, and there's like nothing on the Switch version. Like, they just expect you to Google it because everyone has a smartphone these days. So, there's that.
Wow. That's disappointing.
I think that wraps it up, unless you have any experiences you'd like to add, but I don't think you do.
Yeah, that experience is it's zero. Nada. Nothing. Zip.
All right. Let's move into the other half of the Wii Shop channel. It's the WiiWare. And for honestly, the longest time, I did not know there were that many WiiWare games. I looked into it. There were literally, we're talking about WiiWare and DSiWare here. There were over 600 DSiWare games and 400 on WiiWare. Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, so when you asked me to look these up, I was like, I know I like to expand on things, but I'm not going to read all of these. I don't think anyone wants to listen to that.
In my mind, these were services that were not very popular, didn't catch on, and they did not have a lot of games. And I was clearly wrong, at least about that last part.
So wrong.
So yeah, WiiWare was literally a part of the Wii Shop channel. The left side, if I remember correctly, was Virtual Console. The right was WiiWare. And basically, I'm going to let you take it away, but WiiWare games were kind of these games that were... this was like before eShops were really like a normalized thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Xbox Live and PS3 were starting to get their little online stores. Um, I don't know, 2006, you were probably like your early iPhones. It wasn't like every single person had a smartphone where you could just go on the App Store or purchase a game. Um, yeah. I these are games that were developed literally for the Wii, but they never got
Mm-hmm.
physical releases.
Yeah, it's like when the digital storefronts kind of just started, when they were
Yeah,
actually like viable options instead of, taking your stuff to print and getting a physical copy. So yeah, you basically explained it really well. It's like you said, it's the right. What did you say? It was the right or the left? Anyway, it's on the Wii Shop channel, right? They're all there. It's all integrated for you. You can search by popular titles, newest editions, by game title, publisher, and genre. And then I would show you a list of games, and you could scroll through it at your leisure. So what consoles and nope, that's stupid because it's all Wii. So WiiWare games were released from May 12th of 2008 to July 3rd of 2014. So quite a long time. There were a total of 438 games released on the WiiWare side of the Wii Shop channel. So I guess it's worth noting here that because they're so substantial, I separated DSiWare and WiiWare into two separate categories. So I'll talk about those different. So right now we're on WiiWare. So the WiiWare application was able to draw in some big developers like Bandai Namco, Capcom, Hudson Soft, Konami, Marvelous Entertainment, and Natsume. Nintendo themselves obviously had to support their own software. Square Enix, Taito, Telltale Games, and Ubisoft, which blew my mind. I had literally no idea.
that's a huge amount of big names, and if they would have tried this around the Wii U era, it probably would have been a whole different story. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, so that blew my mind when I was looking at all this stuff. So the first batch of games to be released were Defend Your Castle, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles My Life as a King, Lost Winds, Pop, TV Show King, and VIP Casino Blackjack. Because we gotta start the kids young on gambling. And the last game to be added was Karaoke Joy Sound. Yay. So, like I said, I don't have any experience with any of these, so I looked up, most popular WiiWare titles or, top 10 that you must own, blah, blah, blah. Looked at all those lists. So, here are some notable ones that were popular and kind of have a cult following. I just mentioned this one earlier, but Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles My Life as a King, Lost Winds, Tokitori, Strong Bad's Cool Game for Attractive People. I don't know. World of Goo, Tetris Party, Bit Trip series, and Yet It Moves, Final Fantasy IV The After Years, Tales of Monkey Island, Castlevania The Adventure Rebirth. Did you know about that one?
I did. I'm going to talk about it later.
Okay. Max and the Magic Marker, Blaster Master, Overdrive. Rage of the Gladiator, Cave Story, which I love, by the way, did not realize that it was here. Fluidity, and Moto Heroes, spelled with a Z, not an S.
I did see online that was a good one.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
See? That's what I'm saying. Well, I mean, these are the top. These are everyone's top. So these are like your Marios and your Zeldas of the WiiWare, I guess. So other notable titles that I thought were cool were Frogger Hyper Arcade Edition, Retro City Rampage, WarioWare DIY Showcase, Mega Man 9 and 10, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All, Castlevania The Adventure Rebirth, which I just said, Pokemon Rumble, Excitebike World Rally, Frogger Returns, Arkanoid Plus, ! Contra Rebirth, and My Pokemon Ranch, and finally, Dr. Mario Online RX. Super cool.
I honestly had never heard of that Dr. Mario game. I wonder if it was any good.
You think if it was super good, people would talk about it more? But I don't know. So next, I kind of have the pricing of these. So pricing for these games kind of depended on the size and whatever agreement I guess the developer and Nintendo settled on was never like a set price. So the points per game range between 500 to 1500. Most games were between the 500 and 800 points, but there were more expensive games with 1500 points. Were, like I said, Final Fantasy Chronicles My Life as a King, Moto Heroes, Pokemon Rumble, Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1, and World of Goo. So those were your $15 games. Crazy.
I guess I want to get into what my experiences, but I'll wait. I played World of Goo. Great game.
Yeah, I have that. Thanks to Super Rare Games. Hey, go check them out. They're super cool. Do you want me to go into like DSware now? DSiWare?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So the user interface at first is very similar to the other ones. It's you click on the little app that says shop, and then it takes you to, whatever the interface you're going to be looking at. So when you clicked on it, it looked very similar to the WiiWare store with similar sorting and organization filters. You scroll, you go to the next page, look at the games. There's a list of the games, a picture, how much it is, developer, blah, 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 all that stuff, all that fun stuff. So there were a total of 662 games released on the DSiWare platform, in North America, of course. These games were released from November 3rd of 2007 to January 28th of 2016.
2016?
Very late. I know, crazy, right? The first game released on the platform was 1950s Lawnmower Kids. I've literally never heard of that in my life. The last game was called Crazy Train. So again, I looked at popular lists and games that you must own, blah, 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 blah. They were Tetris Party Live, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Minis March Again, Mighty Flip Champs, Art Style Aquia, Dragon Quest Wars, Starship Defense, Photo Dojo, Art Style Pictobits, Dark Void Zero, Dodo Go, Lincoln Launch, Touch Solitaire, Flipnote Studio, Dr. Mario Express, and Shantae Risky's Revenge.
Very
and
nice.
Then this is different than WiiWare games. So there are 4 different kinds of WiiWare software. There was free WiiWare games, application software, whatever. They were free of charge programs such as Nintendo DSi Browser and Flipnote Studio, DSiWare 200, which were software that could be purchased for 200 points, which will be very compact utility types of applications and smaller games, obviously, because it's only $2. There were 500-point games, software that can be purchased for 500 points, which would be like your simple puzzle games and other more sophisticated utility applications, whatever that one means. And then there was Premium, which is software that costs 800 points or more for the larger games and utility types. So it's basically they're all kind of ranked instead of having like, oh, this one's 750 points because we want to be different,
Yeah.
So, yep, that's it.
Nice. A lot of those games that you mentioned are actually going to end up in the things that are lost to time section, but let's start with some region locked stuff. I looked into it, and like I said, way more WiiWare games than I thought, and there is a surprising amount of games that actually did not release in certain regions. In my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, it's just WiiWare. They developed it for one platform. They might as well release it for all the countries, but there's always some weird reason to not release it in a certain country, so whatever.
Of course.
A few WiiWare games that didn't come to America. Ivy the Kiwi Mini. I've heard of that game series. Never played
it's
it.
a Wii game, isn't it?
Yeah. Surprisingly, we just talked about it last episode because you said you purchased Kiwi, and I was like, Ivy the Kiwi? And you were like, no.
Oh. Yeah, you're right. No,
Lots of Kiwi
Kiwi
talk.
spelled with a Wii, a W-E.
Right. Now that I think about it, missed opportunity to spell Kiwi with 2 I's, Ivy the Kiwi. Anyways, Phalanx, This one got mentioned in my last stream by Daily Beating. He was like, "You ever heard of that game Phalanx on the Super Nintendo?" So I had to throw it in here, but basically it's like a shmup from the Super Nintendo, but the cover art is just hilarious. It's this dude sitting in the front, like on his porch in a rocking chair playing a banjo. Like he straight up has like super like, country vibes, and it's the weirdest thing because it's a shmup. It has nothing to do with a banjo or yeah, you should look it up sometime. But anyways, there's a remake for the WiiWare, so that was interesting. Of all the games, 3 Pokemon Fushigo no Dungeon games definitely never came out in North America, and then 3 Where's Wally games, which were exclusive to PAL territories, which is aka Where's Waldo here in the U.S.
Oh, I was about to say Wally, the robot.
An application that I found was interesting that was exclusive to North America, Crunchyroll. Never got a release anywhere else.
Love Crunchyroll.
I had no idea you could get Crunchyroll on your Wii.
Neither did I.
No, you certainly didn't.
No, you're right. If I didn't know there was freaking online, I definitely didn't know about Crunchyroll. You're right.
Yeah, I totally used my Wii as a Netflix machine for a few years there. No doubt about it. A few DSiWare that never came to America. Korogashi Puzzle Katamari Damacy. That was all one game. Japan exclusive. And then Need for Speed Nitro X. So Need for Speed Nitro came out on DS, but Nitro X was a DSiWare exclusive version of the game that was only released in Australia, of all places.
Wow. You like to drift over there or what?
A few things that are lost to time. The 3DS actually has a majority of DSiWare games available on its shop. I had no idea. But as we all know, it is only a matter of time until that all disappears. So soon,
unfortunately,
the list of stuff that could be on this episode could be way longer. But yeah. It's possible that those games could live on a different platform, or they could just get locked away in the Nintendo Vault forever. Who knows? I don't see the DSiWare titles like making it to the Switch eShop personally. I'm sure there's a lot of garbage on there that they really don't need to litter it with. But here's a list of some games that are pretty solid and are definitely lost to time from the WiiWare side of things. We have Castlevania The Adventure Rebirth. Hannah mentioned that one. Konami kind of was like, hey, we're going to do some like remakes of Castlevania, Contra, and Gradius, some of our favorite titles. And yeah, Castlevania The Adventure, for those of you that don't know, it was an original Game Boy title. I played it last year, I think. It was awful game, very bad, but it's like solely because of how like slow it is. And I don't think they could maximize the potential of the Game Boy at the time. So this is like the first Castlevania on Game Boy, and it's just so slow and painful. And this is, from what I've heard, the premier way to play the game, and you cannot currently purchase it anywhere like legally. So that sucks. 2 Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicle games. Hannah mentioned one of them. I didn't write the name of the other one down, but that was pretty interesting. Mr. Driller W. I know people like that franchise. My Pokemon Ranch, Pokemon Rumble, which would definitely get a few sequels later on. Star Soldier R, popular Hudson Soft shmup, and the one Hannah mentioned, WarioWare DIY Showcase. All of these games you cannot purchase or play on any platform at this time, legally.
Yeah, gotta add that legally in there.
Yeah, if you're an emulating guy or gal, then you are in the clear for sure. But yeah, I hate when these things happen. I'm always a fan of buying things before they are locked away in the vault, but you can't buy everything. And I was like young when all this crap was getting locked away anyway.
Well, if we're being honest, it's definitely out there somewhere illegally. But
yeah,
people have taken a real mission to like catalog and record all of these so that time does not forget about them.
Right. Preservationists are our friends for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't play any DSiWare games?
No. So I bought a DSi. I bought 3 pink DSIs from Goodwill for like $80, like
Right.
3 years ago. And that was the first DSi I ever had.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I did not have a DSi growing up. I was a DS Lite kid. Did you have a DS Lite?
Nope, I had a Game Boy Advance, and that's where my handhelding ended.
I just had a DS Lite, and I everyone I knew had a DS Lite, and so the DSi came out. It felt like a lot later, and I guess they wanted to start adding their online experience, their eShop or whatever, to compete with like the PSP, which had the similar thing going on. I actually don't know what the PSP's shop was like, or if they even had one. Now that I think about it,
I have no idea. Do you know how many times I played a PSP? Like 6 times.
But yeah, I have no experience, that being said, with any DSi where I didn't have a DSi until I became a collector, just like Hannah. But I'm thinking that this service couldn't have been too popular because so many people had a DS Lite and never upgraded. So I don't know. I think it's probably unlikely that these 600 games got the exposure that they could have if the DSi where was available from the start.
Well, clearly someone was wanting them if there's 600 of them.
I guess. I mean, please comment if you are a DSiWare fanatic. I would love to know about it. But like I said, those games living on the 3DS shop right now, which is good for preservation, I suppose, for people to be exposed to them. Yeah. But as far as WiiWare goes, I did have 5 WiiWare games. I had a game called Defend Your Castle. You were describing like the little description with the picture. That was literally all you had. Like I didn't go on YouTube and start looking up gameplay for how these games were going to be. That wasn't a thing when I was 10. So I would read the heck out of these descriptions. They didn't even have trailers on the Wii Shop channel. You were really winging it with your 500 or 1,000 shop points. But I will say Defend Your Castle, excellent game. If I were to describe it in a few sentences, you're literally taking your Wii remote, picking up stick figures that are trying to attack your base, and launching them so far into the air that when they fall back down, they crush and die. And
wow,
it's waves and waves of stick figures attacking your castle. Would recommend.
Sweet. I'm sold.
I played World of Goo. Definitely would recommend you check that out if you haven't played it. Not you, but the audience, but also you. Sudoku Challenge. Tell me why I was like 10, 12 years old and I wanted to play a Sudoku game so badly that I bought it on the Wii Shop channel. I don't understand what was wrong with me.
Wow.
You mentioned Frogger Returns. I did have that one. I don't think it was a good game. Don't think I played it a whole lot. And then Triple Shot, and I really didn't play that one much because I have very little recollection of it. I think it was like a shooting range game where you would shoot an arrow, bow and arrow, like things like that at targets. Yeah. Those are my WiiWare and DSiWare experiences.
How exciting. You didn't even get the best ones. Well, I guess you got World of Goo, so you got one of them.
That's true. Sudoku Challenge, don't knock it till you try it.
It's like solitaire. Woohoo.
Fun facts, many of these titles would go on to become mobile games as phones improved. So I'm pretty sure I could go on my iPhone and play World of Goo right now. Don't quote me on it, but things like that would every video game has hours and hours of like sweat and tears going into it, and for something to come out on the DSiWare or WiiWare and to just like not get purchased by a lot of people, I think it makes sense that so many of these games would be on mobile phones in the years to come. But yeah, like the better games like World of Goo would be re-released on platforms like the Nintendo Switch. And yeah, apparently you could still access WiiWare from the Wii U, like when you go over to that secret Wii channel. It's not secret. I don't know why I said that, but like that service has
Super
shut down, so no more WiiWare.
Well, I was also trying to look up, when I was looking up interface for all of these things, you can also hack the heck out of your Wii and your Wii U and make it do whatever you want. So,
Very nice.
these games, if you really, really wanted to. It's like, yeah, how to load up all these games on a flash drive and blah, 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 blah. And I was
Yeah,
like, no,
anybody,
I don't want that.
anybody listening to this that's like into emulation is like, man, these guys are missing out, man.
These guys are stupid.
That's all I got for that section. Anything else, Hannah?
Nope, that's all I got, because I have zero experience with any of these.
Well, I'm going to let you take us into our next section then.
Can you guess what the next one is? It's the Wii U Virtual Console, which is where I started into the Virtual Console thing. But I think
Nice.
I was a late adopter as well. I didn't get there until quite a few years after the Wii U had come out. I was not a day one backer, I don't think. I don't remember.
Same.
Anyway, interface UI, it's very similar to the Wii Shop channel, but instead you get to look at two screens because it's the Wii U. So you click on, the Wii U Shop in the eShop home, which is a lot more sophisticated than it used to be. It kind of divided it into like sections. So like the top was new releases. So it was like your Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, your Hyrule Warriors, blah, blah, blah. That's like the popular new stuff. Then there was Nintendo Selects. Then underneath that was new releases. Then under that, they had Shop by Game Series. So it's like an icon of Zelda, or I guess Link in this case. An icon of Mario, an icon of Squids from Splatoon. So you could shop that way. Then under that was the Wii U Virtual Console. And under all of those was like a picture of the NES, a picture of the SNES, and when you clicked on it, it just brought you to all of those games from that console. So that was really cool. That was what I first.
What are you looking at when you click on the Splatoon characters? I mean, what, you gonna buy Splatoon and that's it?
Yes. That's exactly right. So like I said, layout is very similar to the other pages. There's game title, little picture of the game to the left, the console it's from, the rating, like rated, not R obviously, but E for everyone, 13, blah, 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 blah. And then also something that's really cool is the reviews. So like out of 5 stars, it would give you like, it's rated like 4.3 stars given by like 120 people or something like that. So that was really cool. That's something that Switch does not have.
Talk about something that we take for granted now. Like, it's just everywhere you look, every time you buy something, and the Wii did not have that.
Nope. Wii U did have that. Switch doesn't have that. It also said publisher and developer, and then of course the price. And then there was also 2 options to the right of like the little box with the game in it. It was proceed to purchase screen and add to wish list, which is cool. And then, of course, when you purchase it, and the app icon would appear as an app on your screen when you loaded up the Wii U, or when you booted it up. So, there were 331 games in North America. There was 94 games for the NES, 51 games for the SNES, 21 games for Nintendo 64. Again, short end of the stick. 74 games from the Game Boy Advance. 31 games from the DS, 33 games for the TurboGrafx 16, and 29 games from the Wii. Which it listed that in the Wikipedia, but I don't know if I consider that Virtual Console. It's like borderline just digital store, but then again, it's from the Wii, not the Wii U. But the Wii and the Wii U are so like interconnected, it's like, I don't know where to classify that.
And the Wii U can play Wii games, so I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, I counted them anyway, so NES titles were added from January 23rd of 2013 to January 26th of 2017. First game added was Balloon Fight. Yes, everyone's favorite NES game. Games added were...
Balloon Fight.
Well, I just expected it to be like Mario or like Zelda. Nope, Balloon Fight. Last games released were Flying Warriors, Kung Fu Heroes, and Little Ninja Brothers by a publisher and developer called Culture Brain. Have you ever heard of them?
I have not.
Okay, great. So also a bunch of Nintendo developed games. Of course, you got your Marios, your Zeldas, blah, 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 all those. But it also had a bunch of Capcom games like Mega Man, Gargoyles Quest 2. Konami also showed up with Lode Runner, Castlevania, Life Force, and Adventures of Bayou Billy. Then Natsume games like Scat and Shadow of the Ninja.
Both of those are on the NSO, actually. That's interesting.
Oh, really? Well, I guess they have a lifetime deal with Nintendo. Then, like I said, we have 51 games from the SNES. Games added from April 26th of 2013 to June 30th of 2016. No. Wait, did I say... 2013, 2016, sorry. First game added was... Can you guess?
Which console?
Super Nintendo.
It's going to be something stupid, isn't it? It's not Super Mario World.
No, it's Super Mario World.
Dang it.
It is. It is Super Mario World. Can you guess what the last one was?
Secret of Mana.
No. Super Mario RPG. That's close. Other notable games would be Earthbound, Breath of Fire 1 and 2, Final Fight 1 through 3, Wild Guns, Axelay, and Super EDF, Earth Defense Force. That one was just fun to say. Then Nintendo 64 is next, added from April 1st, 2015 to March 9th of 2017. All of the games were Nintendo published, so you got your Donkey Kong 64, your Mario Golf, Pokemon Snap, Yoshi's Story, blah, 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 all those. But there were 3 games that weren't published or developed by Nintendo, and those were Ogre Battle 64 by Square Enix, Harvest Moon 64 by Natsume, and Bomberman 64 by Konami. I'm pretty sure, I didn't double check, but I'm pretty sure it's the same 21 from the Wii. But I could be wrong, don't quote me on that one. Next, we have Game Boy Advance. Game Boy Advance games were added from April 3rd, 2014 to April 20th of 2017. First games released were Advance Wars, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, and Metroid Fusion. And
solid lineup.
Yeah, you want to guess the last games? Think
Hockey and Rocky.
Another. No. Think another one of your favorite series.
Castlevania, all 3 of them.
Nope.
Oh.
You get the other one.
Metroid Zero Mission.
No, the other one.
Super Mario.
No, the other one. Come on.
Rayman.
Yes. So there were the 2 Rayman games, Rayman Advance and Rayman 3 Hoodlum Havoc. Come on, man. I thought you got that one for sure. Other notable games would be Golden Sun, Legend of Zelda Minish Cap, Klonoa Empire of Dreams, Mega Man Battle Network, Mega Man Battle Chip Challenge, Castlevania Circle of the Moon, Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance, and Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. Donkey Kong King of Swing, Fire Emblem The Sacred Stones, Golden Sun The Lost Age, Advance Wars 2, Pocky and Rocky, whatever you want to say, with Becky, Contra Advance The Alien Wars X, and Onimusha Tactics. Also Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. So, I guess I'll talk about it a little later. Next we have DS games, released from April 1st of 2015 to March 16th of 2017. First game added was Yoshi's Island DS. The last game added was Picross 3D. So every single one of those games was published by Nintendo. We got your Mario Party DS, your Big Brain Academy, your Wario Master of Disguise, Kirby Canvas Curse, Animal Crossing Wild World, Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, Super Mario 64 DS, Pokemon Ranger series, and the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series. Next we have 33 games from the TurboGrafx 16, added from July 14th of 2016 to February 8th of 2018. First games added were Bonk's Adventure, New Adventure Island, and R-Type, which was later delisted in June of 2020. So not that long ago.
Yeah, what
Last
the heck?
games, I don't know, weird. The last games were also delisted in June of 2020. Image Fight 1 and 2.
Oh, love me some Image Fight.
And then we have some other ones published by Konami. We got Bomberman 64, Gradius, Dungeon Explorer, Devil's Crush, Bonk's Revenge, Lords of Thunder, Necromancer, Bomberman 93, Battle Load Runner, Bomberman Panic Bomber, and Double Dragons. All good stuff. All good stuff. Next, we have the Wii Virtual Console. I don't know what you want to call it. But select Wii games that gave the buyer direct access to the game without having them go through the Wii mode. So you could obviously play, like I said, Wii games on the Wii U through Wii mode, but these ones were not. These ones were like downloaded directly to your screen.
I guess
so.
That
I
makes
guess
sense.
That's why this differentiated.
Yeah.
So the first game was Super Mario Galaxy 2. The last game added was New Play Control Pikmin 2. Very interesting. Other notable games, Metroid Prime Trilogy, Trauma Team, which was by Atlas, Zack and Wiki, Quest for Barbaros? Barbaros' Treasure.
Title.
Yep, by Capcom. Xenoblade Chronicles, Resident Evil The Umbrella Chronicles, and Skyward Sword.
Very solid
nice.
lineup.
Very nice lineup. Those are just notable titles, but there's 29 of them. And next we have the pricing options for all of these games. So we actually graduated from Nintendo's stupid point system to actual monies this time. So we're talking in terms of dollars. So NES titles were $4.99, Super Nintendo was $7.99, N64 $9.99. GBA ranged from $6.99 to $7.99, although one game was $4.99, and that was, I'm pretty sure you've brought this game up, but Kududen was, for whatever reason, just $4.99. They weren't greedy with that one. DS titles were $9.99, Wii titles were $19.99, and TurboGrafx was $5.99 to $7.99. So, not too bad in terms of pricing. But yeah, that's all I got.
Nice. Did you also cover 3DS Virtual Console?
I did. Would you like me to go right into that one?
Let's do it.
All right.
Or do you want me to take a whack at it for a little bit? You've been talking for a while.
Yeah, you can take a whack at it. I'll take a sip of water.
All right. So my Nintendo starts to be kind of a thing around this time. It's not until 2016 actually, but right at the tail end of the Wii U, the My Nintendo Rewards program starts up. It's like replacing the far superior Club Nintendo, rest in peace. Essentially, you could get digital rewards for doing things like logging into Miiverse, linking your social media, completing tasks on Nintendo's website, just little dumb things like that. Wouldn't be until 2020 that you actually get physical rewards, and they are pretty sweet. I love adding things to my, collection so that they can collect dust forever, whatever.
They're the real collectors, you know what I'm saying? I just collect dust.
You could... That was stupid, Hannah. You could trade in points that you earned from doing these little tiny tasks for select Wii U and 3DS software, as well as some DLC. I remember I spent some of my points on one of the DLC packs for Mario Kart 8, which was pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then I still actually do not own Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I'm still struggling out here playing the Wii U version.
You're so behind, man.
I remember also using some points to get Super Metroid on the Wii U before I owned the cartridge, and that's how I played that game. But, yeah. Let's get into some region lock games here for the Wii U. There was a handful that didn't come to North America for some reason. I'm going to list a few here, but the NES and Famicom, there was Bubble Bobble, Devil World, Fire Emblem Gaiden, Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3, and Famicom Detective Club. I bring that one up because it has since been remade or remastered or both on the Switch, so that's cool. The SNES got Clock Tower Live Alive, similar to Famicom Detective Club, just got a remake. That's pretty cool. Honestly, I might go buy Live Alive. Honestly, I have a list of things that, since I've been doing research for this, I want to go buy them on the Wii U eShop before it's too late, which would be now. So like you mentioned, Pocky and Rocky, that's like a $300 freaking cartridge on the Game Boy Advance. Like, I really want to play that, and I think I might go buy that for $5 or $10 on the Game Boy Advance tonight after we're done recording.
I don't think you can buy. I don't think you can add funds anymore.
So you can add. I think what it is, I could be wrong, but I think what it is you cannot go and add credit card funds. But if I have like a Nintendo eShop card, then I can go and add that. Hopefully.
Oh.
And
Loopholes,
you can easily,
baby, loopholes.
Yeah, you can easily get those online. So I'll look into it before I make any purchases, obviously. But yeah.
Well, dang. If that works, let me know, because I want to catch up on all this lost games and stuff that I didn't get to play.
Heck yeah. We should have done this episode a year ago.
I don't know. What were we thinking?
Okay. On the Super Nintendo, there was Clock Tower, Live Alive, Ogre Battle, Secret of Mana, and Shin Megami Tensei 1, 2, and 3. These are all games that never came to North America for some reason on the Wii U eShop. On the Game Boy Advance, I'm pretty impressed with what we did get, but this list of like, there's quite a few awesome games that didn't come here. Starfy 1, 2, and 3. Those games never released in America anyway. There was 4 Final Fantasy games: Fire Emblem The Binding Blade, F-Zero Climax, Kuruin Paradise, previously mentioned on the show, as Hannah said, Lufia, The Ruins of Lore, that's a popular RPG franchise, Mother 3, a big one there, 3 Phoenix Wright games, Sonic Advance 1, 2, and 3, and 3 Shining games. I think I would like to say that you could have like modded or changed the settings on your console to be able to access these. I'm assuming, I didn't look into it, but if you like changed your region to be Japanese, you probably could have had access to these. That's generally how it goes.
Yeah, I don't know, because Nintendo used to be really strict about like their region lock stuff, but I know the Switch obviously breaks that. But that's a good point. I don't know if you can do that.
Japan also exclusively got 23 MSX games on the Wii U Virtual Console, so that's neat. Almost as far out as like the Commodore 64 games on the Wii Virtual Console, like pretty crazy. And then I guess to cover my experiences, well, no, we'll save that for later. You can go into 3DS now.
All right. So 3DS Virtual Console, the UI/interface is very, very similar to everything else we already talked about, so I won't talk about it again. But on the console as a whole, there was 191 games offered, 203 if you include the games only available to Nintendo 3DS ambassadors and delisted titles, which I didn't realize that there was an ambassadors program. Did you?
No, you're going to have to tell me about that.
Alright, so the Nintendo 3DS Ambassador Program was launched for the people who bought the 3DS for $249.99 before the price dropped down to $169.99 on April 12th of 2011. I had no idea that they sold a 3DS for $250.
Dang.
I know. So I guess... Why? I mean, I wasn't there for that one, I guess. I mean, I didn't get my 3DS until I was in Texas, when I was 18 years old. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So in order for someone to become an ambassador, they had to log onto the eShop with their 3DS before August 12th and update the console. This program offered 10 NES games for early adopters and later added on 10 Game Boy Advance games in December of 2011. So that makes 20 games total. But only 10 of those were exclusive. So some of them they made available to just regular old customers. So I guess you just logged on and was like, hey, you bought this game for like, what was it, $80 more than what you, or $70 more than what you needed to buy it for. So you get some games for free. So that's nice. So ambassadors got a special ambassador certificate, which allowed them to receive special notifications just for Nintendo 3DS ambassadors. I don't know what those look like. I tried to look them up, but I couldn't find anything on them, so lost to time, I suppose. So, the games that were included, the NES games, were Super Mario Bros., Metroid, Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2, Balloon Fight, Ice Climber, NES Open Tournament Golf, Yoshi, Wrecking Crew, and Donkey Kong Jr. Those games were later available to other purchasers if they wanted them. Next 10 games were the Game Boy Advance games, and to this day have not been released to the public and remain Ambassador exclusive games. They were Metroid Fusion, Mario and Donkey Kong, Mario Kart Super Circuit, Yoshi's Island, Super Mario Advance 3, WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro Game? Exclamation point. Legend of Zelda Minish Cap, Fire Emblem The Sacred Stones, Wario Land 4, F-Zero Maximum Velocity, and Kirby and the Amazing Mirror.
Dang.
I know. Missed out, man. So then after that, there's just a breakdown of all the other games that they had. So there was 50 games for the Game Boy. These games were released from June 6th of 2011 to February 27th of 2016. The first batch of games were Alleyway, Radar Mission, and Super Mario Land. The last were Pokemon Red and Blue. Other notable titles: Kirby's Dream Land, Double Dragon, Bionic Commando, Metroid 2 Return of Samus, Game & Watch Gallery, Mole Mania, Castlevania The Adventure, Mystic Ninja starring Goemon, Donkey Kong Land 1 through 3, Mega Man 1 through 5, and Revenge of the Gator. Which is a pinball game, by the way. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Revenge of the Gator? No.
Yeah, it's a pinball game. Sounds really epic, but nope, just pinball. Next, there were 31 games for the Game Boy Color, released from June 7th of 2011 to January 26th of 2018. First game was Link's Awakening DX. The last game was Pokemon Crystal. Other notable games: Master Blaster Enemy Below. And then from way forward, we have Shantae and Extreme Sports. Also, Legend of Zelda 8, or Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. Legend of the River King 1 and 2 from Natsume. Rayman, Lufia, The Legend Returns, also from Natsume. We have Wario Land 2 and 3. Pokemon Trading Card Games and Puzzle Challenge. And Pokemon Yellow, Gold, and Silver. Next, which blew my mind kind of again, we have 16 titles from the Game Gear.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking cool, actually. I didn't realize that they had Game Gear on 3DS.
I had no idea. I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's a handheld console, so why wouldn't there? But anyway, they released from March 15th, 2012 to July 4th of 2013. First batch of games were Dragon Crystal, Shinobi, and Sonic the Hedgehog Triple Trouble. Is that like the third release on the Sonic the Hedgehog series?
No, the Game Gear had several exclusive Sonic games.
Oh, well, there we go. The last batch was G-Lock, Air Battle, Sonic Drift, and Vampire Master of Darkness.
Nice.
Other notable games include... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're probably about to say what I was going to say. Go ahead.
Other notable games include Sonic Blast, Defenders of Oasis, Shining Force, The Sword of Hajia, Tails Adventure, Crystal Warriors, and Sonic Labyrinth.
I was going to say Tails Adventure is quite an expensive and, like, honestly, a really uncommon game. If I can get this crap worked out, I'm definitely buying that game on my 3DS.
Oh, really?
I heard it's good.
Huh. Well, there you go. I did not know that. I didn't know that Tails got his own game in Game Gear. And I even have a Game Gear. I have 3. Do they work? None. They don't work. None of them work.
The plague of the Game Gears.
Yeah. Boo, down with the Game Gears. So next we have 64 games from the NES. Games were added from February 16th of 2012 to January 29th of 2015. First game added was, can you guess?
Super Mario Brothers.
Ding, 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 you nailed it. And the last was Shadow of the Ninja from Natsume. So, lots of classic NES games, like I've said a gajillion times, your Mario, Zelda's, your Mega Man's, blah, 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 blah. I think this is an exclusive, which I think is technically my category. So, The Mysterious Murasame Castle and Super Carnival 92, Recca, R-E-C-C-A, it's like Becca but with an R, made their first official appearances in North America when they were added to the 3DS Virtual Console. Donkey Kong Original Edition also made its way to North America, but it was available only as a promotional bonus and was removed from availability after the promotion ended. They freaking snatched away your opportunity to get it. It's gone. It's gone forever. And the next ones are actually kind of interesting. So I did not realize, but the 30 NES games that were offered on the 3DS Virtual Console were only offered on like the new 3DS line of handhelds. So not the original ones. Had to be the ones that had the new, which is super confusing.
What the
Nintendo,
heck?
come on. Yeah. It's only on the new ones. They were added from March 3rd of 2016 to December 29th of 2016. First games were Super Mario World, F-Zero, and Pilot Wings. The last game was Castlevania Dracula X. Or 10. Is it 10 or X?
It's X.
Okay. Well, you never know. Other notable games, Breath of Fire 1 and 2, Final Fight 1 through 3, Mega Man X through X3, Earthbound, Super Metroid, and Donkey Kong Country 1 through 3. This one was kind of confusing, but there's also a section called 3D Classics that were kind of, I don't know, it contains 22 games from the NES, arcade games, and Genesis. So I guess it's kind of its own little category, but they had Excitebike, Kirby's Adventure, Urban Champion, Altered Beast, Streets of Rage, Echo the Dolphin, Thunderblade, Gunstar Heroes. And then Kid Icarus was released on March 23rd of 2012 via a special code at GameStop retailers.
Oh, that's interesting. I think
So
what
again,
that little like sub-series is like, I think they revamped them or something. And I kind of remember, like, Gunstar, you mentioned right there at the end, was a game that you could purchase on the 3DS, and you could, like, play multiplayer with two 3DS consoles. Like, you could play wirelessly. So there's probably, like, little additions that they did for those 22 games.
Oh.
Which is very
Oh,
neat.
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's super cool. And then so the next category is just the delisted games. I already talked about Donkey Kong Original Edition, which was delisted after the promotion. But there's also Tetris, which they chalked it up to Nintendo's Tetris license expiring, which Ubisoft held at that time, interestingly enough. So they're like, yeah, it expired. So next we have pricing. Games are purchased with dollars, again, not points. We've moved past the point system. Funds can be added by purchasing like those $20 eShop cards, like GameStop and like Best Buy and stuff. Game Boy games were $2.99 to $3.99. Game Boy Color games were $4.99 to $5.99. But just to stick it to you a little bit more, Pokemon games were $9.99. NES games were $4.99. Game Gear was $3.99 to $4.99. Super Nintendo games were $7.99, with Earthbound being $9.99. The last thing I have here is some other notable just information, I guess. The service was scheduled to add new games every Thursday at noon Eastern Standard or 9 a.m. Pacific time. So it was actually like scheduled out instead of like the drip feed that Nintendo's just kind of adopted now with the Switch. It was like, hey, every Thursday you're going to get something at noon.
I guess they did that on Wii too. I don't really remember this, but the reason I bring this up is because there's this freaking skit that is like gotten really famous, and these guys, these two dudes, I honestly have no idea where this is from, if it's a YouTube channel, a TV show, whatever, but these two dudes did this freaking skit, and it's this hilarious like We Shop Wednesday thing that they called it, and I'm sure most people have heard of it, but basically yeah, there's like this Twitter account that posts every single Wednesday this same video. That's the only tweet they ever post, and it's great. But yeah, I guess they did that on the Wii Virtual Console as well too. So every freaking Wednesday you would get new games.
So that's awesome. Oh, and then the last thing I have to note here is in bold and highlighted, Nintendo will close the Wii U and 3DS eShops on March 27th of 2023. Users won't be able to add new funds to their accounts after August 29th of 2022. So
Right.
if what you're saying with the cards, that would be sweet.
I mean, that would be
I didn't
so
know that.
weird to like give your audience like 8 months to spend their last remaining funds that they've left in their like Wii U for some reason. I don't know. But I'm really hoping now. That's the first thing I'm doing when I get off this podcast.
I know. And then let me know so then I can do the same thing.
All right. Um. Okay. Carry on. Or is it my turn?
It is your turn, my friend.
Let's talk about some region-locked 3DS stuff. I didn't write a whole lot down because the like NES, Super Nintendo stuff, it's all the same that we were just talking about on Wii U. However, Game Boy, there was Bomberman GB3, Game & Watch Gallery 2, Pokemon Yellow for some strange reason didn't come to North America. And then Game Gear, I wrote down there was 3 Shining Force games that we didn't get here in North America. But yeah, pretty similar to Wii U in terms of region lock stuff. Japan actually got TurboGrafx games on the 3DS, so that's pretty sweet. Well, I guess it would technically be PC Engine games because Japan, but yeah. Some things that were lost to time at the end, like I don't know, 2/3 through the 3DS's life cycle, there was something called the Nintendo Badge Arcade. I remember checking it out maybe 2 or 3 times, but I'm pretty sure you would use your steps, which get you like these 3DS Street Pass coins, and then you could spend it on pins in like that you could actually like what is the word? Decorate your 3DS home screen with. I know, like decorate was not coming to my head. But yeah, so that was the Nintendo Badge Arcade. I remember it was pretty lame, but it was nice to be able to decorate a little bit. And then, like, Street Pass and Miiverse, 2 things that are definitely lost to time. Miiverse was such a cool thing that I certainly didn't use, but it was, like, a cool idea. I just think I was past the age group that was using Miiverse. But, like, if I was younger, I would have been all over that. And Street Pass, man, I don't know. Have you ever used Street Pass?
No.
Dude, Street Pass is so Nintendo and so cool, honestly. Like, you put your 3DS in your backpack and you go to school, like college, high school, whatever. And you freaking walk past other people that have a 3DS. And all you have to do is have your console in sleep mode and you will, like, you'll go open Street Pass at the end of your day or whatever. And it'll say, hey, you met all these people along your path today. And you get, like, rewards for meeting people. You can spend that money to buy games in Street Pass. Like, it was just such a neat thing for Nintendo to be like trying to build this community of people who have 3DSs. I don't know. That I'm surprised it doesn't exist for Switch, honestly.
Well, dang. That's cool. See, it's another thing I missed out on. What the heck? That's so cool, though. I mean, I guess they're probably not doing it because they want you to actually, like, buy their stuff now instead of, like, earning points to buy it, but...
These weren't real games. These were, like, little mini games exclusive to the Street Pass thing.
Well, I mean, a lot of people used it, though. I remember people talking about it.
Definitely, yeah.
But, yeah, man, that's so neat.
As far as my experiences with the Wii U Virtual Console, I only bought Super Metroid and Earthbound. Oh, actually, I just remembered one. Metroid Prime Trilogy, so that was the Wii compilation of the 3 Metroid Prime games. But, yeah, I played Super Metroid entirely on the Wii U gamepad and, like, watched TV at the same time. I loved my Wii U so much.
I also love my Wii U.
Such a neat device. Earthbound, I played it for a few hours, didn't get far. That's why I'm currently replaying it right now on the Switch. And on the 3DS, I think I literally only bought Mega Man 1. I think that was my only Virtual Console purchase. What about you?
I purchased a couple. I know I purchased definitely a Fire Emblem game. I think it was Shadow Dragon or whatever the one that I said. It was a Game Boy Advance game, I believe. And then that was when I bought Legend of Zelda Minish Cap. I actually played Minish Cap on the Wii U. I didn't play it on the Game Boy Advance. And then I think I got a couple other stuff. There was like a lot of free demos and like just free tinier games that I downloaded because they were free. And I was like, I like free. But I don't remember what they are. But yeah, the big one was Minish Cap for me for sure.
Other than that, I wanted to mention Earthbound Beginnings. Did you mention that one?
No.
Earthbound Beginnings got its first release outside of Japan ever. That was kind of a big title. It's a Famicom game. Yeah, I remember when this game came out. It was like a big deal on social media. Big TurboGrafx games that came out on Wii U: Blazing Lasers, Bonks games, Devil's Crush, R-Type. DS games on Wii U, honestly, was such a perfect idea. I prayed for years for a DS player just like the Game Boy player to come out, like what we had on GameCube, because, hello, the freaking touchpad and the TV is your DS right there.
Yeah, the dual screens, baby. It was right there.
Makes me so mad that it doesn't exist, but I fully believe this would have existed if the Wii U would have been more successful. Like, I bet we're gonna find out in 15 years, like on some YouTube channel, that this was in development. It got canceled because the Wii U failed. Blah blah blah.
There's like a working prototype out there.
Right. It's gonna make me so sad. But yeah, I mean, anytime one of y'all wants to make like a fan made project, I'll be backing you on Kickstarter. Like, I need this to exist.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Me too. I'm in.
That's all I got for this section, Hannah.
All right. Well, I got nothing else for that one. But the next one is the most fun of all, kind of. Nintendo Switch Online.
The NSO.
Yeah. So, want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So, I know I am an early backer of Nintendo Switch. I bought it on day one. Heck yeah. So, most people probably don't know, but Nintendo Switch Online wasn't always a thing. It wasn't always a paid service. The online features, like online play and stuff, were completely free when it came out. Do you know that?
Yeah, and I've mentioned this before, but like they definitely have changed what they had planned for the service from what they announced back in like 2016, 2017.
Yeah, definitely. So Nintendo announced that there would be a paid online service in the future, but the launch of said service was pushed back several months to ensure that it was fully functional and included many of the features that they were wanting. The service officially launched on September 18th of 2018. So that whole like year and whatever months was totally free. You could play Mario Kart online with your friends for free without having to pay. So now there are two tiers, right? So there's your regular old Nintendo Switch Online, and then there's your Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack, which is just, again, the naming conventions, bro. It's just so confusing. So regular old Nintendo Switch Online is $20 a month. I mean, psych, it's $20 a year.
Super cheap and affordable.
Very cheap compared to the other ones. I don't know necessarily what Xbox's and PlayStation's pricing is, but I know that's fairly cheap.
It's triple.
Is that a year, though, or a month?
Annually, it's triple what Nintendo is.
Okay. Well, I guess that's not that bad. So just the regular base tier Nintendo Switch Online, the service promised cloud support and a list of 20 NES games at launch, with the promise of more games to come in the future. There was also the god-awful phone app.
I hate to go on a side tangent, but my girlfriend is playing the heck out of Splatoon 3 right now, and it's honestly making me wish I had the game, even though you and I said we weren't going to get it. But the app has really improved, especially like for Splatoon, man. It's so much better now. But anyways,
oh really?
Carry
on. That's good. Anyway, so that we used it. We tried to use it once and it was okay, but it was like kept cutting in and out, and like I would drop or you would drop. Yeah. It was a mess in the beginning. So yeah, $20 a year and you get all that fun stuff. And then almost a year later, on September 5th of 2019, NES games were added under a separate application. So there's you got your squares, your applications on the as soon as you open the Switch, and it's like your streaming services and your games and whatnot, and then underneath that there's I think there's 6 little icons. There's the store, and then they just added the one for Nintendo Switch Online, so you click that and it automatically boots it up, which includes SNES, NES games, and now also includes Nintendo 64 and Genesis games. So we're kind of getting to where the Virtual Console was, but just not quite yet.
Yeah.
They also offer select DLC packs, which I think is cool. So the first one added was Animal Crossing's New Horizons DLC, and then they just added the well, not just added, it's been a while, but Splatoon 2's
expansion.
Octo something? Not Octopath. That's
I think
something
it's
else.
Octo expansion. I don't know.
Octo expansion. Yeah. So that one's offered. And then the Mario Kart DLC has been updated every couple of months with new tracks and stuff. So that makes it, I guess, a good enough deal. But they're just like drip feeding these games. It's like you maybe get 1 or 2 new games like every month. It's like it's not enough, you know. If I'm paying $50 a year, which is what the NSO Plus expansion pack costs, that's just, to me, I want to say it's not worth it because I own all these games on Nintendo 64 and NES and Super Nintendo, but I don't know. I really just bought it so I could play Puzzle League online or with my friends on the Switch. Love it. So
I think it's worth the $50 personally. I think you get a lot, and it's still like all the crap you get is still cheaper than both Xbox or PlayStation. So I think it's cool. Yeah, this is coming from a guy who doesn't have the expansion pack, but yeah.
So I think in order to make it really worth it, one, I think they need to add more consoles, more systems, which I think we'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I have it. I like it. It's great. I just wish it was more, you know?
Yeah.
And that's all I got for that section. Oh, wait. Psych, no. I also have other things. So, I also mentioned that if you have Nintendo Switch Online, you can purchase exclusive controllers from the website. There's the double NES controllers, the single SNES controller, and then the single Nintendo 64 controller, which I think is super cool. And then you don't need a subscription to play online games like Fortnite or like Warframe, which I thought was worth mentioning. And also, you get access to games like Tetris 99 and the Mario 85 or something, or Mario 95? 35, yeah, Mario 35, like Battle Royale games that, you know, they just pop up and be like, hey, you can play this online with your friends and with random people. So yeah, that's Nintendo Switch Online right now.
Yeah, did you want to mention games, or do you want to, or what are we doing here?
I didn't really write down any games, but
that's all right. I mean, honestly, it's so many of the games we've already mentioned. Like, I doubt there's anything that's like really like new. Out in left field. But yeah, I think that was a solid description of the interface. I have certainly used the heck out of it. To quickly go into My Nintendo for like where we're at right now with the My Nintendo Rewards program, there aren't any DLC or software rewards for the Switch yet, but you can earn gold points for purchasing new games physically or digitally, which I think it's cool that they're like rewarding people who buy physically, because it doesn't seem like something that they would do in 2022. But
yeah.
1 gold point is 1 penny off of your digital store purchases. Luckily, you're not getting 1 gold point. You're getting 60 when you buy a $60 game. So that's 60 cents off a future eShop purchase. Still not a lot, but like it adds up. You know.
Certainly.
And you're going to buy games. So in a few games, you'll have $5 off of your purchase or whatever. So it's cool. It's better than nothing.
Yeah, for sure.
Unfortunately, these points expire within a 12-month span. I think that's stupid, but
I hate that. Freaking hate that.
A few region-locked games. So the NES, there are 11 Japanese exclusives, but like it's not like they're getting more games than us. I'm pretty sure we have the same amount of games. There's just some that we have that they don't, and vice versa. But yeah, Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and The Blade of Light is a Famicom game that is region-locked, and then also the Japanese version of Adventures of Lolo. I just learned that the one that we have here on NES is actually a sequel to this Famicom game, so that's interesting.
Oh.
Super Famicom, there's Shin Megami Tensei 1 and 2, Fire Emblem Mystery of the Emblem, Harvest Moon, Kirby Star Stacker, and on N64 there's just Custom Robo and Custom Robo V2. And as far as I can tell, there are not any region-exclusive Genesis titles.
Huh. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Do you want to talk about your experiences with the services so far?
I think we've kind of already talked about it a little bit, but yeah, I obviously paid for the Nintendo Switch Online day one because I wanted to play my Mario Kart with my friends. I did not buy the expansion pack day one, though. I waited until Puzzle League came out, and then I was like, oh yeah, I need that. I need to play that right now. I really don't go online that often, if I'm being honest. Like, the big perk, I guess, of that would be all the games that are at my disposal and I can play, like, when I'm out and about or whatever. But I'm not really an online player. I'm much more of a single lone player, unless, of course, I get addicted to Splatoon, and then I have to play online. But yeah, I like it. I think it could be a lot better, for sure.
Right. I think most people are buying this service for playing Splatoon, Mario Kart, the handful of Nintendo, like, online games that exist. And
Yeah.
on the other hand, you have me, who has spent 100 hours. I just looked at it. I'm 100 hours plus into the NES Online, and 95 hours on the Super Nintendo Online. Like, these are pretty sweet services, honestly. They are very, very convenient, no doubt about it. Like, I've played Super Mario Brothers, The Lost Levels. I've played Mario Brothers, the original Zelda, Ninja Gaiden, Dig Dug 2, Balloon Fight. That's why I mentioned Balloon Fight earlier when you were talking about it. I thought that was funny. Like, I'd never played that game, but low-key, a lot of fun.
Really?
Not worth being the first of the service, but it's pretty good.
Okay, alright, okay. Good.
Yeah, and where was I going with that? Let's talk about the two-player online experience for a second. I know you and I have played some games online. I am really, really happy with it. I think that Nintendo's online, like their servers, whatever, garbage. It's always been that way. But the actual experience of what they've done here, like, it's just never been done on other consoles. And basically, I don't think even a lot of people know about this feature, but you can play two-player games online. Like, that's one thing that's cool. So
yep, agreed.
You play Super Mario Brothers or Donkey Kong Country, like Hannah and I have played, and you take turns past, like, you know, just like you're in the same room. It's amazing. But even cooler than that is you can change controllers and have two people play a single-player game, which, you know, I'm sure a lot of people that doesn't interest, but Hannah and I have sat down and started playing some RPG from Capcom, Breath of Fire, I think.
Yeah.
And like, you know, you play for 30 minutes, play for an hour, whatever, and you're just sitting there talking to your friend, and then you pass the controller. And I've done that my whole life for, like, single-player games. And to be able to do that with, like, my friend who lives in Florida, it's amazing. I love it.
I agree. I think that's something, like you said, that no other company is doing. But yeah, that was such a fun experience. I mean, especially Donkey Kong Country 3, you know, we each picked a character, and then if I died, then it was your turn, and if you died, it was my turn, and then, you know, you could switch characters if you wanted to. If I didn't, you didn't want to be, what was his name? Baby Kong?
It's Kitty Kong.
Kitty Kong. If you didn't want to be Kitty Kong because he sucks, you're like, hey, I want to play Dixie Kong. I was like, okay, we can switch. That's fine. Yeah, that was such a fun experience, for sure.
So props to them for that. I really don't think many people are begging for that. I don't think many people take advantage of it, so it's unlikely to see it on another service like Xbox or PlayStation, but I'll take what I can get with the Switch. It's pretty awesome. Games I've played on Super Nintendo: Earthbound, currently working through it. Super Mario World, just, you know, it's convenient as heck. I have the cartridge, I have it on multiple platforms, but hey, it's on Switch, why not? I played through Yoshi's Island on this because my battery was actually dead in my cartridge, so I couldn't save the game. And yeah, talk about convenience, man. Right there for you. Which controllers have you purchased?
So I have the NES controllers, and I also have the Nintendo 64 controller. I do not have the Super Nintendo one. That's the only one I don't have.
There's a Genesis controller, Hannah.
Oh. Well, I don't care about Sega, so that's not... it's not uncharacteristic that I don't remember that one. But yeah, you're right. No, I don't have that one.
I do have the Super Nintendo controller. But yeah, these are, like, really nicely made, heavy controllers. They're solid for sure.
Oh yeah, they're super nice.
Definitely worth the money.
Really good quality.
I that brings up the Mario Party thing again. If you're playing the first two games on that controller, then you're at risk. That we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, you're right. I wonder if they've fixed it up on the inside or not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Huh. Well, dang it. Now I can't play Mario Party with my controller. I'm too scared. Dang it.
So, for those of you that don't know, the NES controllers actually slide on just like Joy-Cons, and they decided not to do that for the Super Nintendo or any other controllers. Probably because...
could you imagine the Nintendo 64 controller sticking out of your Switch?
It's probably because of L and R buttons, among other reasons, I'm sure. But yeah, the NES controller. I don't even know if you can play your Switch. You probably can. You could probably play your Switch with those with those NES controllers slid on. Like, I don't know, play Splatoon or something. That'd be nuts.
I want to say that you can, but I don't think you can actually really play. It's like you can click some buttons and something will happen, but there's no like analog sticks or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Your character will just jump around if you hit the A button, but you can't actually play.
So, looking into the future here, what are some things that we would like to see for the Switch or future consoles? Do you want to start?
I can definitely start. I have a bunch of notes for this. So, I would like to see some other consoles that were on the older systems that they could totally move to this one, like TurboGrafx or Neo Geo. Like, that's so cool. I don't understand why we don't have those. We already know that Nintendo has some sort of partnership or agreement or whatever with Sega to allow Genesis games on Nintendo Switch Online, so why don't they also include Game Gear games? I mean, obviously the Nintendo Switch is a hybrid handheld system, so Game Gear games kind of just make sense, which leads me to believe that Nintendo might be working on like a handhelds expansion, which includes like Game Boy games, Game Boy Advance, and Game Gear games. What do you think about that?
I think that would probably be the point where I've spent $50 on it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would.
Yeah, I mean, there's been rumors for a long time, but I think you're right about the drip feed stuff. It's just annoying, and they know what they're doing. They're keeping the system alive with it, so I get it from a business standpoint, but not a fan as a consumer.
Agreed. So, as far as the TurboGrafx, aren't most TurboGrafx and the TurboGrafx, like, console owned by Konami now?
Yeah.
Since they purchased Hudson?
Right.
So, that partnership might be weird, but I don't see, is Konami doing anything with TurboGrafx games right now?
They made the TurboGrafx Mini a few years ago.
Oh, right.
But that's about it.
So I could see that coming over because I would love to get to play Ys 1 and 2 on the Switch. That'd be super duper cool.
Yeah.
I also think GameCube games is the kind of next logical step after the handheld expansion. I think that a lot of people would pay more money if they could play those games online. Like I would I already pay for it now, but I would pay more. I'd pay not another $50, maybe another $10 to match the other consoles. But if I could play Kirby Air Ride online with my friends, heck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I love that game. I would definitely pay more just to play that game. I don't know why they're not doing it. I don't know if emulating GameCube games is harder, or if they're just lazy, like what they did with Super Mario Sunshine and how there was like freaking debug blocks in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And they just don't want to do it yet. I don't know, but I think they'll definitely stop there. We're obviously not going to get Wii U games. They're making way too much money porting those and remastering those, so those will never come. Don't hold your breath for those. I would also like to see them add more DLC packs, like all the DLC packs for Nintendo games. Why wouldn't you? I mean, I think it just makes sense. I would love to get the Breath of the Wild DLC pack. That game came out like a jillion years ago. No one's buying that anymore, right? The next one's going to come out. They could put that on there.
That's a good
Hyrule
point.
Warriors DLC. They could put that on there. I don't know why they're picking and choosing.
Yeah, it makes sense for the older games. Like less people are like far less people are going to be buying Splatoon 2 Octopath expansion right now. Like, yeah, why not just give it to your fans, your consumers?
You've already made all of your money off of it. Or
True.
most of it. 99% of it, so you might as well just give it to your NSO people. But yeah, that's my thoughts. I also want to ask you, do you like Virtual Console better or Nintendo Switch Online better?
That's
or like
really...
what? Go ahead.
No, you can finish.
I was gonna say, or like what Nintendo Switch Online is kind of evolving into.
I think that that's where I was gonna go with this section. Like, I obviously 200 hours on the Nintendo Switch online services of retro games here. Like, I love it, but do I guess it's got an up and a down to it. Like, I probably never would have played Dig Dug 2, Balloon Fight, freaking, like I have a lot of these games on my NES. I don't need to purchase them again, just for convenience or whatever. So, like, it definitely has its upsides. And I just sat here and talked about how much I love the two-player online experience. So, I'm definitely enjoying what they're doing here. But at the same time, there's like 20 freaking sports titles that I'm never going to play. There's a bunch of garbage that I just don't give a dang about. And could I be spending... Would I rather have this or a virtual console where I buy the games that I pick and choose? I'm probably going with the virtual console. I don't have to worry about them getting removed from the service. I don't have to worry about them being taken away from me when the Switch is dead. Like you own those games, quote unquote. Like they're with you forever, and I love that about the virtual console. I can still go play my Wii games, that like my freaking World of Goo or whatever, and yeah, there's definitely, like, if I had to pick one of the two, it would be virtual console, but it would have to be, I would say virtual console with this awesome two-player online experience that they've made. Like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, if I'm allowed to make a hybrid there, because that's such an important part.
That's totally cheating. No, I get what you're saying. But the virtual console, I mean, I guess it's nice that you get to pick and choose. It's not, like you said, like stupid old sports stuff that you're not going to care about. But also, virtual console games, though, I mean, if you're an avid gamer who wants to play a lot of games, it's going to definitely add up for sure.
It does, yeah.
But I hope in the future there's a point where Nintendo Switch Online has all of these games. You don't really have to worry about it. It's like just super worth your money and your time, you know?
Yeah.
So I hope we get there one day, which I think we are. I think we're trending in that direction for sure.
Yeah, when you look at it, we have a lot of games. Like, I mean, there's like 60 NES games now or something. Like, there really is a lot. So it has taken years to get to this point, but it's pretty good looking back.
I agree.
Anything else, Hannah?
I think that's it. I think we covered. I mean, we're 2 hours in, so.
Yeah, love the virtual console. I'm sorry that you missed out on the freaking Wii virtual console. That is such a shame.
I know.
Let's see.
Me too.
Can you purchase Wii U eShop games still? With what? Not with credit card, but with
pay. No, with Sorbot gift card. What do you call those?
Alright, as of March 2023, it'll no longer be possible to make purchases. We know this. Mm-hmm. Okay, so here we go. It says, as of May 23rd, 2022, no longer possible to use a credit card to add funds. See, I'm feeling pretty optimistic here.
Okay. Well, you try it out, and then you let us know.
Users who link their Nintendo Network ID wallet, used with Wii U, 3DS, with their Nintendo account wallet, used with Nintendo Switch family of systems, can use the shared balance to purchase content on any of these systems until March 2023. I'm feeling hopeful. As long as my wallet and my account are linked, it sounds like we're good to go.
Oh man, I'm so excited. We better stop this podcast so that we can just go purchase our games for.
We're running out of time. Thank you all for listening to this podcast for 3 years. You got anything sappy you want to say, Hannah?
Yeah, thanks for sticking around. I know that we've grown over these past 3 years, and I hope, we're going in the direction that people are interested in. But always give us feedback, what you liked, what you didn't like. Grateful you guys are still listening. Also, to our U.S. people that listen, which I think is majority, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you have a wonderful time with your family, or just a break, or, whatever you're doing.
Eat a turkey leg or something, yeah.
Heck yeah. Oh, wait, okay, hold on. Are you a turkey fan or not a turkey fan?
Ham all the freaking way, but I'll still eat it.
Oh, no. But you like turkey. You're not like...
Yeah, it's fine.
I hate turkey. Okay, turkey's great. You're a ham man. Interesting. I like you some ham. For sure.
Shout out to Casio ! For the awesome freaking review you gave us on Apple Podcasts on June 29th. We're just now seeing it. Definitely read this before the podcast. Brought tears to our eyes. Beautiful. Thank you so much for that rating.
You were thinking about that the whole time, weren't you?
I just pulled it up again, and yeah, I'm a little choked up. Thank you, Casio.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, go enter our giveaway, guys. It's for y'all, obviously. See if you can get yourself... Look, even if you're getting Scarlet day one, why not try to get Violet, Throw something else on your shelf, or whatever. Just, why the heck not? Give it to a friend. Whatever you do with it, yeah, we don't care. Just enter the giveaway. Give us a rating. Thank you so much. We will be posting about it on all social medias. And, yeah. Really is crazy how time flies. I mean, I was still enrolled in college when we started this podcast. Hannah's still in college, and we're 3 years in.
Ouch. You're calling me out?
Yeah. You guys are freaking awesome. It wouldn't be fun if we were getting 2 listens per episode, but we get a bunch of listens, and it means a lot to us.
Agreed. Thank you guys. We really appreciate it.
We will see you in December for some kind of... I'm not going to say it's going to be a winter-themed episode. Because
Stop saying that.
we're not going to say that for now, but... Anyways, we'll see you in December. Hannah, where can the people find you?
Gangrel Advance SP on Instagram.
Send us those DMs with those screenshots of the rating. I am at Bird Dog Gaming on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and everything else in the world. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time.
See ya.